morning. Martha asked me several weeks ago to give a testimony about what Sunday school has meant to me throughout my faith journey. Growing up in Minnesota with 7 siblings, every Sunday morning there was never a question of whether we'd go to church or not, and Sunday school. It was a given. So all 10 of us proceeded and arrived at the community church at 9:45 a.m. So you see, for me, it was an easy task to connect Sunday school and my faith journey. There were so many things I could recall from learning in Sunday school. There were the Bible stories about Daniel in the lion's den, Moses and the 10 Commandments. There were memory verses, probably hundreds of them, and the action songs. In real life, these Sunday school lessons of Bible stories, memory verses, and songs come back to you in unexpected moments to help you understand or complete your faith journey. This was especially true for me with memory verses. Today I'd like to share with you how one memory verse has helped me as I reflect on my faith journey during my late teens and early 20s, when many of my important life decisions were made. And that memory verse is found in Proverbs 3, 4, and 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. When I was about to enter my senior year in high school, I began thinking about my future and what I would do when I graduated from high school. Being one of 8 children, and I was number 5, my dad and mom had already helped 4 siblings acquire a higher education. So my thought was, wow, my dad's getting old, and he has 3 more children after me to help through college. I'd felt God calling me to attend Moody Bible Institute, but was not sure of adding years and expense to my parents. You see, Moody was a 3-year school, but not an accredited college at that time. The school's purpose was not to give students advanced credit for a degree, but to actually train people who would serve God in their church, their community, and especially inner cities, where Chicago was the town of where Moody was. The school has never charged tuition through the graciousness of many business people and alumni, only room and board. Approaching my last year in high school, I found an ad in the newspaper placed by Pyrofax Gas Company advertising a baking contest and scholarship money. All one needed to do was to submit your favorite recipe and an essay of why I wanted to go to college. I wrote the essay and flipped through the Betty Crocker cookbook to look for a recipe that looked interesting. If you survived the first 2 bake-offs, you proceeded to the National Bake-Off, where the first prize was a $1,000 scholarship. And that was worth a lot more money than it is today in college. At that time I prayed, God, if you really want me to go to Moody Bible Institute, please help me with this contest. After my 3rd bake-off, it was announced that I'd won 3rd prize. It was not the $1,000 scholarship. It was a double oven gas range, just what a 16-year-old wants to have. Now, this was a problem, as my dad was a supervisor of the local Rural Electric Association in that area. We definitely didn't have a gas line coming into our house, and it wasn't scholarship money. But God made a way, and a neighbor knocked on our door and offered to buy the gas range for the given value of $500, which was the exact cost of room and board at Moody Bible Institute for 1 year. What an answer to prayer. I took this to mean that God wanted me to attend Moody for 1 year. This solidified my faith in God as he provided a path for me. The next year, I transferred to the University of Minnesota, and it was through InterVarsity Christian Fellowship on the Minnesota campus that I attended a mission conference. The purpose of the mission conference was calling students to dedicate some time in our lives to full-time mission work. I did make a decision at that time to serve God someplace in the mission field for at least 1 year after I finished college. During my final year, I applied to serve as a missionary, teaching school in Unalakleet, Alaska. The village, Unalakleet, did not have any roads in or out of it. It's not quite to the Arctic Circle, but it's close, and it's located on the Bering Sea. You either had to come by plane, boat in the summer, or catch a dog sled in the winter. The mission of Unalakleet consisted of a local church, which also had outlying missions in the bush, along with the boarding high school, primarily for native Eskimos. At this time, the local villages in Alaska did not have high schools. The students had to move to Juneau or Anchorage for the school year. However, the mission board told me that at this time, they were really looking for a married couple, but they'd keep my name on file. My heart sank. I thought, oh great, here I'm ready and willing to serve God in mission work, and was rejected. I guess you could say I was probably mad at God and didn't understand and why he didn't agree with the path I chose. And this is where the first part of the verse comes in. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not upon your own understanding. That year I taught in southern Minnesota. During that year, surprisingly, the mission board contacted me and offered me a job to teach in their high school, as they had another single girl apply for the position also. So I accepted the position. I've thanked God numerous times that I'd had first-year teaching experience before going to Alaska, because I was not only a teacher, but a dorm counselor for the girls that stayed there. And here's where that verse comes in again. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. What the mission board did not tell me was that they had another single guy also coming to teach that year. Not only did he direct my path, but also the path of a single guy who joined the staff the same year. And do you know who that man was? That guy sitting right back there. That was the year Peter arrived to teach also. He was supposed to be teaching, but I think he thought his job was to get me to marry him at that time. So if I had come a year earlier, I probably never would have met Peter. And this next year, we'll celebrate our 50th anniversary. God definitely had a plan and a path. I have many more parts to my faith journey that I hope to share with you sometime. But I wanted you to know my faith journey started in Sunday school, giving me a knowledge of the Bible with memory verses, songs, and stories, stored in my mind, and a faith that has been meaningful for me for my whole life.